How's it going, peace? It is now time for the WWE Payback results / highlights and review video. I'll go over the results of the show, some of the highlights in my opinion, and my review, my thoughts on the overall show. So it all kicks off with the Payback Kickoff, and that kicked off with Damien Sandow versus Sheamus. And as expected, Sheamus won the matchup with a Brogue Kick. And following that, pretty much the pre-show, the kickoff was just Big Show, Josh Matthews, R-Truth, and Cody Rhodes hyping up the show, hyping up the matches, showing highlight videos and such. And then came time for the actual show, the main card, and they started it off with the Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship match. So a good match, in my opinion, to start the show with. Honestly, I thought it was a very entertaining Triple Threat match. I thought all of them got some good offense in, they all got, some cool spots in. And at some point, you had The Miz hitting the skull-crushing finale on Curtis Axel. He went for the cover, but Barrett grabbed The Miz, threw him outside the ring, and then he went for the cover himself to try and steal the victory. But The Miz, who was outside, grabbed Barrett by the foot and pulled him out of the ring. And then he went back in the ring to go for the cover. But that time wasted there allowed Curtis Axel to kick out. In the end, I think The Miz threw Curtis Axel out of the ring. He locked on the figure 4 on Barrett, and it almost looked like Barrett was going to tap out, but at the same time, he was getting a little bit closer to the ropes. And then Curtis Axel goes back in the ring, covers Barrett while he's in the figure 4 leg lock, and gets the 1, 2, 3, wins the matchup, and becomes a new Intercontinental Champion. And he was actually, I'd say the crowd was behind Curtis Axel more than Barrett and The Miz. Once he won the matchup, I thought he got a pretty good pop too. And yeah, enjoyed the matchup, and Curtis Axel, new IC champion, as I predicted. After that, you had Curtis Axel, Paul Heyman backstage, and pretty much Paul Heyman was congratulating Curtis Axel, and then they run into Triple H. Triple H stares down Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel tries to leave, but Triple H gets in front of him, still staring him down. Vince McMahon then comes, congratulates Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel, and tells them to leave. And then Vince McMahon to Triple H tells him, tomorrow or on Raw, Triple H versus Curtis Axel, I can't wait. And then Triple H is like, nah, he doesn't want the matchup. And then, what happens afterwards? Oh yeah, it was AJ versus Kaitlyn Divas Championship match. And the match was actually, I liked the match. It was a good match. And AJ won the matchup. During the match, at some point towards the end, Kaitlyn went for the spear. She hit the spear, but after hitting the spear, she didn't go for the cover right away. Instead, she tried to, add insult to injury. She grabbed AJ, blew her a kiss, and then smashed her head against the mat, and then went for the cover. But she took too much time, for the cover. So once she went for the cover, Kaitlyn kicked out. AJ, I keep freaking messing up. AJ kicks out. And at some point also, I think AJ hits Kaitlyn with her belt while the referee didn't see. But Kaitlyn kicked out. And in the end, AJ won with her submission. I honestly don't remember the name of the submission, but it's the same submission Gail Kim used at some point. So, yeah, she won with her submission finisher and is the new Divas champion. So, just like the first match, as I predicted, AJ wins the Divas championship. And then after AJ left, Kaitlyn was crying, and then Layla came out to help her or whatever. Then she goes backstage with Kaitlyn, trying to, get her to stop crying or whatever. And even the other divas come to check on Kaitlyn, but she leaves them, and that was it for that. And then Kane came out for his United States Championship match against Dean Ambrose. The match ends up being okay. The ending of the match comes when Kane pretty much snaps, and he wants to put Dean Ambrose through the table via chokeslam, but Dean Ambrose instead DDTs Kane on the outside on the floor, and then the referee was at the count of 6, so Dean Ambrose goes back in the ring, referee counts 7, 8, 9, 10, and Kane is counted out. Dean Ambrose wins the matchup by countout and retains his championship. Following that match was the World Heavyweight Championship match. Dolph Ziggler versus Del Rio, and AJ came out with Dolph Ziggler with her championship. And as soon as the match started, pretty much, Del Rio was working as a heel. He was targeting Dolph Ziggler's head the whole entire time with kicks after kick, after kick, after kick, after kick. Just lots of kicks, super kicks, and ziguris, and all that stuff on Dolph Ziggler because of the concussion. And it looks like during the matchup, Dolph Ziggler pretty much turned face, and Del Rio turned heel. And actually, something surprising, Del Rio won the matchup. After another kick, he hit the super kick, and went for the cover, won the matchup. Dolph Ziggler actually hit the zigzag, but he was too, after all those kicks, he couldn't capitalize and go for the cover. And Del Rio won the World Heavyweight Championship. And so I guess Del Rio's back to being a heel, and looks like Dolph Ziggler might be turning face now. And after the matchup, Del Rio came back out to cut another promo. Well, he didn't cut a promo before, but he came back out saying, pretty much, telling the fans, to give it up for Del Rio, and the fans boo. And then it was time for CM Punk's return. Chris Jericho versus CM Punk. Chris Jericho came out first, and the fans were cheering for CM Punk, chanting his name. CM Punk comes out to a big pop. As far as the match goes, it was a great match. I would say, though, that some of their previous matches were better than this one. And they hit a bunch of finishes. Chris Jericho hit I think he had 2 code breakers, one in midair, 2 when CM Punk went for the flying clothesline or the springboard clothesline. And also he locked on the walls of Jericho about twice. CM Punk hit about 3 or 4 go-to-sleeps. In the end, CM Punk hit 1 go-to-sleep, and Chris Jericho kind of bounced back, hit the turnbuckle, came back, and CM Punk grabbed him once again, hit another GTS right away, went for the cover, and won the matchup. And after the match, Paul Heyman got back in the ring and was congratulating CM Punk. CM Punk kind of looked like, I think he told Paul Heyman that he won the match by himself, and Paul Heyman kind of looked, taken off guard by that. But nonetheless, he kept clapping for CM Punk. And, just like the Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler match, it also kind of seemed right in this match that they were going for a double turn, but it wasn't as obvious as the Del Rio and Dolph match, where Del Rio constantly went after Dolph's head, and it was just really, really obvious that Del Rio was working as the heel in the matchup. This one, it wasn't so obvious, but still you had Jericho kind of working a little bit like a heel. And CM Punk was mostly working as a face. So honestly, out of Paul Heyman, I don't think he helped CM Punk in the matchup. So, after that match, you had the tag team title match. It was Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. The match didn't last too long. There was some miscommunication or some errors. You had Daniel Bryan going for the suicide dive, and he accidentally hit Randy Orton when the Shield got out of the way. So he hits Randy by mistake. He goes back in the ring. And back in the ring, towards the end, it was like chaos. You had Randy, who was about to hit the RKO on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns pushes Randy towards Daniel Bryan. They stopped right before they collide. And then Randy grabs Daniel Bryan, shoves him out of the way. And as he shoves him out of the way, or pushes him out of the way, he pushes him into Roman Reigns, who spears Daniel Bryan. And then Randy hits the RKO on Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins throws Randy Orton out of the ring and then hits his running stomp on Daniel Bryan. And then wins the matchup. So Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns retain the tag team titles. Following that was the main event, 3 Stages of Hell match. And you know what? I actually enjoyed this match. I thought it was, pretty decent. I like the matchup. First stage, of course, was the Lumberjack match. And whenever Cena would get thrown outside the ring, he would always get thrown on the side where the heels were. And the heels would always attack John Cena, and then, the face Lumberjacks would come to the heels and tell them, to stop or whatever. So they throw John Cena back, and then at some point, John Cena threw Ryback out to the heels, and they didn't do anything to Ryback. They didn't attack him or anything like that. The usual in Lumberjack matches. And at some point in the Lumberjack match, you had Ryback outside, and every single Lumberjack, they were all fighting against each other, and Ryback was in the middle of all of that. John Cena climbed up the top turnbuckle and jumped onto all of them, knocking them all down. And then towards the end, Ryback hit the shell shock on John Cena for the 1-2-3 to win, to gain the first fall in the 3 Stages of Hell. Second fall, tables match. They took out about 3 or 4 tables, and Ryback broke 2 of them, I believe, or 3 of them with the steel steps. He was trying to hit John Cena or throw the steel steps onto John Cena, but John Cena would duck and Ryback would break the tables in the process with the steel steps. In the end, though, John Cena hit the attitude adjustment on Ryback through a table to gain the second fall. Right after you got the second fall, Ryback got up, started attacking John Cena, took him outside the ring, took down the announcer's table, and put John Cena through the announcer's table with a powerbomb, I guess to prove that he can put John Cena through a table and that he could have won that second fall. And then the third fall commenced once Ryback got John Cena back in the ring. That's when they rung the bell once again. And the ambulance match, they pretty much got down right to it by Ryback dragging John Cena, or he actually put John Cena on his shoulder and, walked towards the ambulance. And there, they pretty much took the ambulance apart. They took apart the door. You had John Cena Irish whipping Ryback onto the door. The door fell off. John Cena hit Ryback a couple times with the door. You had Ryback trying to punch John Cena ducking, Ryback accidentally, freaking breaking the glass. And John Cena grabbing the pretty much the lights of the ambulance and hitting Ryback with that. They had crutches and a bunch of stuff. In the end, they climb up the ambulance, or John Cena does, and Ryback follows with a crutch. John Cena grabs the crutch from Ryback, hits him with it, and then sets him up for the attitude adjustment, hits him with the attitude adjustment through the announcer's table. I'm freaking messing up here. Through the ambulance to win the match. So John Cena wins 2 falls, the second fall and the third fall. And he retains the championship. And then they show a bunch of replay of John Cena putting Ryback through the top of the ambulance. And that was pretty much it. The ambulance drives away, of course, and that is it for the show. So, highlights, the spot in the end with John Cena hitting the attitude adjustment through the ambulance, CM Punk returning and winning his matchup, and it definitely looks like he's going to be turning heel. And also, a highlight would be the double turn. I did not expect that, the double turn in the Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler match, where Del Rio was really acting like a heel, going after Dolph's head all the time, and it seems like Dolph, it kind of seemed like they were going for that, the type of match that Bret Hart and Steve Austin did, where Dolph kept kicking out. Whenever Del Rio would hit him with all these kicks, Dolph kept kicking out, but in the end, of course, it was one too many, and he didn't kick out. And of course, the world title picture change, or the world title change, was definitely unexpected. I did not expect that at all. To me, the World Heavyweight Championship match was probably the easiest match to predict on the card, I thought. But no, they show you once again that, anything can happen. So Del Rio is the new world champion. And as far as what I think about the overall show, my review, my rating, I would give it a 7.5 to actually maybe an 8. You know what? I'll give it an 8 on 10. I thought it was a pretty good show with a good amount of good matches. I really enjoyed also the triple threat match. That was a good match too. Honestly, I don't think there was a match I didn't enjoy. For the majority of the Divas match, that was good too. Oh yeah, how can I forget? They announced that Rob Van Dam is going to be returning at Money in the Bank. They showed a video package, and the crowd was chanting Rob Van Dam or RVD, RVD, RVD during some of the matches. So that's pretty cool. Returning at Money in the Bank, I think that's like the perfect pay-per-view to have Rob Van Dam return at. So I guess he's going to be involved in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Makes sense. So, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, you can click that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below also, and tell me what you thought about the show. Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? And what was your favorite match show? So anyways, I'm out, guys. See ya.